I think ultimately I just gravitate towards soul. The blues really spoke to me when I was young. I asked my dad what he wanted for his birthday, and he said he wanted me to learn how to play guitar. And I said, oh, that's great. And so I learned how to play guitar from him and from people around. You know, every time I get a chance to be with my father and play music, it's special. And my family, my brother, Micah, all of us play together. You know. I got a sense of depth of soul at a young age. I think Dad's a pretty deep guy, and my mom is too. And so Neil Young, I really got into Neil in college. Really got to love his music and love his approach to life, and I just absorbed his music a lot, and I listened to it endlessly, and eventually we got to know each other after a few years. The name Promise of the Real, which is my band name, came from a Neil Young song, Sooner or Later It All Gets Real. The song's called Walk On, and it's from the record On the Beach. The lyric goes, some get stoned, some get strange, sooner or later it all gets real. And that resonated with me, and so I named the band The Promise of the Real, because I thought, oh, that's a promise. I write when an epiphany comes to me, you know, when a sort of breakthrough happens, and it takes the pain and puts it and transforms it into something more beautiful, and that's what music does for me. My parents bought me a couple guitars, and then when this guitar came into my life, I completely made a switch, and now I play this guitar or that guitar always, you know. So I got in touch with Larry Cragg, and he had a friend who was selling 1956 Les Paul Jr. I bought it back then. I think it was around 2013, and I just fell in love with it, and you know, still continue to play it now. Oh, well, when I found out that Gibson wanted to make a guitar for me, I thought that was fantastic, and but I wanted to make sure that it was right, and so there's, you know, the 1956 Les Paul Jr. has a few specifications that single it out, and the way the bridge, this old original P90 pickup, and then the way the bridge and we've spent a lot of time on the intonation, getting the intonation right. If you'll see, the bridge is sort of angled for where the top strings, the high E, the bridge is closer to the pickup at that point, and then it kind of angles away from it. Wanted it to be exactly like mine. It's got a mahogany body and neck. The fingerboard is rosewood. It's got the 50s rounded neck profile on the back here, as you can see. We have the vintage style deluxe strip tuners with white buttons. And we've got the gold speed knobs so that it's exactly the way this 56 Junior was created out of the shop in 1956. And it took a little while to get it right. Oh, and the vintage tobacco burst. And it's also the satin finish. But this will age well. If you get it now, it'll age well. It'll look like that in another 60 years or something. Well, the beauty of this guitar is that it's very versatile with the sound. In fact, I can get a lot of different tones from that, just from the P90 and the way that I attack the strings and through the intonation and the vibrato that I give. You know, if I hit it lighter, it doesn't break up as much. If I get into it, it gets a lot of grit and dirt and breaks up. And it's a very versatile tone, which I'm pretty grateful for. Frankly, the Gibson has been nothing but incredible to me, since I've met them. And this guitar has taken me on a long journey, and it's taken me to some amazing places, and I hope that a lot of other people get the same opportunity with their version of my guitar.